Before we cross over to Jean, it would be proper to note if the police has been infiltrated by these gangs. Is there an element of corruption that we cannot truly rely on the police to protect and serve? Well, what's the state?
The police the police do not have the same level of ammunition as the gangs.
So they're outgunned.
They're outgunned, and yes, they're outnumbered, and they also, unfortunately, because of the way the infrastructure of the country works, they do not get paid on time. So there's no incentive for them to step in, even if they had the equipment necessary.
Okay, Gail, how do you voice to that?
And I would add to that as well, it's we need to do some venting. We have to vet our police officers, because I do believe that from all this Dr. Natalie have talked about, so the incentive that they do not have, that the gangs also give them, because certain of them are receiving this incentive to participate, because we have seen several missions that have failed. Several police officer mission that has gone to dismantle gangs, they have failed. These people have died, they burned them, and it's a whole, very sad situation. So in a sense, we can say, yes, the police officers, some of them are tainted, and we can also say that some of them are loyal to the vow that they took to protect and serve. And why I'm saying that is because we have this movement that appeared a few months ago. We call it in the expression, the Haitian expression, wakale, which I'm not too sure how to translate. It's like it's a population type of movement that, when they find those presumé type of gang, they kill them, it's lynching, it's burning. So it's one of these movements that the population started doing that kind of put a start of a stop, not totally, but a kind of an apparent type of stop into the kidnapping for a certain time. Okay. And that was also in accordance with some of the police officers. So the police officers definitely, we need some venting to just making sure who we can trust, who we cannot trust.
Now, Gail, still with you on this, because Amnesty International Kenya urged UN member states to thoroughly examine the mission's human rights and humanitarian implications before that deployment. I'd like to engage you on some of these impending implications. From where you sit, what are they and how exactly can they be avoided?
I think that we have seen throughout all the missions that have been in Haiti, that human rights is something that has been violated in all levels. We have human rights violation in Haiti with our police national as well. So in the case of Kenya, I'm thinking that like Aki Africa and us and CACIL has put it together to put the same effort that they're putting to put the security system in place, to put a sort of coalition that will go out there and make sure that we have human rights respect, we respect the sovereignty of Haiti, because that's very important. We held not only the Haitian the Haitian police, but also the national police or any type of foreign intervention accountable for what is going on, because so many years have passed where we just let them go and do whatever they want to do. So I think this is important to have that. There's another thing that I want to say, because whenever we talk about this situation, it seems like it's never mentioned that the Haitians had come up with a solution. There is something called the Agreement of Montana. The Agreement of Montana was a coalition of organizations, civil organizations, community organizations, and some politicians that still have some credibility in Haiti that put their heads together in August 30th, 2021, and they came up with an agreement. And that agreement says clearly what all these organizations that came together wants and define in bullet points what they want to see. So it's not about intervention to dominate us, to go back to what we had in 2004 or even before 2004, like a sort of colonial type of coming and dictating what to do. But in that agreement, I think it's important for the Kenyan community to read that and to understand that we have a common accord in understanding that this is a Haitian crisis, that it needs a Haitian solution. So it should not be separated where it's you coming as an intervention and then the community has to follow, but it's a symbiosis between the community and whoever is leading this. In the case of Kenya, when Kenya comes, there has to be that symbiosis. And you can find this document, and that will help, you know, all these levels that we are trying to avoid because of this document.
Okay. As you come in, what sort of framework do you think is needed in order to ensure that, you know, Kenya's domestic police record, which has been put into question in terms of excessiveness of police, how do we ensure in terms of a framework that these excesses do not taint this mission's objectives? Because as she mentioned, we need to ensure accountability, we need to ensure oversight. What sort of frameworks are needed?
So I want to unpack this concept of human rights. So the Haitian Revolution births this concept of human rights because the major argument of the Haitian Revolution is one man does not have the right to own another man. So that's my first point. The second point is the U.S. as a major financer of UN missions, they are a chief violator of human rights violations. Though they do not publicly say this, the U.S. has political prisoners. So we have people who have been incarcerated for over 5 decades for trying to protect their people. Indigenous leaders, Black Panther leaders. So for the U.S. to present itself as a protector of human rights, it's absolutely outrageous. Now, I am not familiar with the human rights violations of Kenyan police officers, but when the people who I have spoken to, they immediately laugh when I say that these people are going to come into my country to protect our people. So let's have a conversation amongst ourselves as African people. What does it mean to protect the people who are within our communities? And then to first start doing it at home, demonstrate that you are a model, and then try to outsource that. From my understanding, just this past November, Kenyan troops have been deployed. Are the mothers, are the daughters, are the fathers of those troops not concerned that that their children are being sent out into the world to have these massacres on their shoulders? So it's not simply a question of what mechanisms need to be put in place, because the mechanisms, the definition of the mechanisms are hypocritical myths.
That's an interesting way to look at it. But equally, I want to challenge you, because earlier on you urged members of parliament in Kenya not to give the go-ahead in terms of deployment of police officers. But just listening to the Kenyan Defense Cabinet Secretary, he had this to say, that Kenya has a very long history of global peacekeeping. Kenya was in Kosovo, in Namibia in Africa, DRC in Africa, Somalia as well, and we currently have officers in